Okay. I'm moving on to principle number three. Principle number three is be open to correction. Be open to correction. Now, it don't matter how much of an expert you are on something, it don't matter how many details you know. You still could have overlooked something, as well as the fact that there's always value in another perspective. Even if you've processed everything you possibly can about this subject, you've only processed it in every way that you can from your perspective. Somebody else may come in off of a different perspective and it could be something surface level and you could, dang, I never thought of that. Right. That's because they have a different perspective, a different lens in which they see things. Now, in order to be open to correction, you have to put your ego and emotions in check. You gotta have that under control. Now, that does not mean that you just become a doormat and let anybody talk to you any kind of way just because they might have the right information. No. They still need to be delivering this information to you respectfully, right? Don't sit there and let somebody insult you or talk down to you or something just for the sake of gaining some information. Now, does that happen sometimes? Yes. If this is your parent or this is your boss or something talking to you, sometimes you got to take a little bit with that because that's your boss, this is your parent. The delivery might not always be politically correct. When you in those type of instances, at least take the information from it. For instance, yes, another example. When I was younger, my mama used to tell us, "Hey, ain't no talking back," and that was law in the crib. Ain't no talking back to mama. I don't care how she delivering it. I don't care how much she yelled. I don't care if she was incorrect about what she's saying. You're not even able to correct mama until she done talking. Till she done talking. So I had practice with this early. Cause I wasn't trying to let mama, I wasn't trying to get them hands put on me by mama. You know what I'm saying? So hey, I'm gonna be respectful. And even in that, she used to get upset with me sometimes because she would say whatever I needed to hear, however she wanted to deliver it. And after she was done saying what she had to say, my response more times than not was, "Okay, mom, I hear you, but do you have to yell?" Boy, get out my face. Yes, ma'am. Now, what's the importance there? The importance is, even though I might not have appreciated the way it was getting delivered to me, for one, that's my mama. I'm still going to treat her with the utmost respect. Because she might have been saying it a little more aggressive than I like, but she wasn't just disrespecting me. Come on, we're not doing that. But also, that taught me to differentiate between how she's saying and what she's saying. The things she was saying, I needed to hear these things. That is the information I needed. And it was helpful to me. It was beneficial to me, which is another key part of being open to correction is you still get the benefit of learning and growing with that information. Think about it this way. If somebody corrects you on something, that means that initially you were incorrect. But after you get corrected, from that point forward for the rest of your life, when it comes to that topic or that subject, you will always be correct. You will always be correct. And we got to stop getting so caught up sometimes in who the person is that's saying it. Oh, you don't know more than me. You ain't as cool as me. People don't accept you like they accept me. You ain't been on this job as long as I have. You ain't lived as many years as I have. So what? So what? Is the information they giving you correct? Because that's all that matters. That's all that matters. We need to be able to process somebody correcting us no different than if you was to take your clothes out the dryer. You take your clothes out the dryer and you happen to drop a sock. And somebody says, "Hey, excuse me, you dropped the sock." "Oh, appreciate it. Thank you." We might not look at that as a form of correction, but it is. That is a small form of correction to where your ego and emotions and all that ain't challenged. We should view correction, period, in the same way. And like I was saying earlier, we got to stop being so caught up in who's giving the information, which goes into my third supporting fact for, or my third supporting idea for being open to correction, is most times than not, an enemy is going to be more honest to you than a friend. Now, why is that? Well, because this enemy, they ain't worried about how you feel. They ain't worried about how you going to receive what they saying. They just going to say it. Now, you might not like what they saying. Of course not, because it's your enemy. But let's just say y'all, they ain't even got to be an enemy. Let's just say somebody trying to roast you. They could be a stranger or something. You might not even know this person. You could be your first time meeting them and they say something, man, what's up with them dirty shoes? Golly. What, you can't afford some new ones? You couldn't afford some good ones? Now, of course, they out of line for, that's personal. They are out of line for that. But the first part they said about your shoes being dirty. Yeah, you might not like that they said it. You might not like them putting you on the spot like that. Of course, you're not gonna like them joking on you at your expense. But is your shoes dirty? And that's what we got to start being more perceptive about. Forget how it's being delivered. Forget who's delivering it. If it's the truth, it's the truth. And we got to accept it as that. And that all comes from being open to correction. Because at the end of the day, you still going to benefit from it, right?